Welcome to my The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Welcome to Am I the Asshole Podcast. Woo! Today is Patreon Day. Let's go, baby. It is Patreon Day. And since it is Patreon Day, you know what we got for you. We got a juicy episode on deck, ready to go for you lovely people. Super excited to get into today's episode, man. I am ready to get into this episode, man. I've been waiting all week to start filming. I'm telling you, whenever I am at work and all that kind of stuff, I'll be thinking about the podcast the entire time, man. I'll be checking analytics and all that kind of stuff. Just excited for the day when I get to film a Friday episode for you guys, man. Without further ado, let's get right on into the episode. Today's thread for today is, what is your favorite way to ask someone if they want to have sex? All right. I thought I did this one before, but no. What it was is, it was something like, what is your favorite way to ask politely? But this one is just asking in general. So I'm excited to see what y'all came up with. All right. Let's see what's up. So, in Frozen, when Anna goes into the shop and the shopkeeper says his little yoo-hoo while giving a little wave, my wife sends me a gif of that. Then I have to give her a minute because I know she is giggling to herself for sending it. So is that her asking for some dick? Is that what's going on? That's what she's doing? She's just like, yoo-hoo, Hey, all right. What is your favorite way to ask someone they want to have sex? My ex used to run her fingers across the palm of my hand secretly in social situations to let me know. It became a thing. Oh. See that? Or like when girls kind of rub their hands, or they're not hands, but like they rub their fingertips across your back. Whoo, when they walk by, telling you, that is just boner city, bruh. Oh my God, I'm telling you, ladies out there, if your man is just like sitting down watching the game, or, say he's just playing his video game, or he's just like sitting down at his computer working or whatever, just walk by and like just run your fingers across his back. Swear to God, my boy is gonna be purring like a walrus. He's like, I'm telling you, your boy is gonna be, ooh. He's like, girl, you getting it tonight. What is your favorite way to ask if somebody wants to have sex? Either my wife or I will ask, what are you doing for the next 20 minutes? It's one of those things that I'm sure they have kids. I'm sure they have kids where they gotta just like, every time is a quickie time. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you got 20 minutes? We good? All right, cool. I'm only gonna need 5 of those minutes. Let's be real here. Come on now. We niggas ain't lasting for 20 minutes. That nigga's just like, we need some buffer though, at least. What is your favorite way to ask if somebody wants to have sex? Wife asks, what do you want for dinner? I respond, that ass. Damn right. That ass, girl. 0% success rate followed by glares from everyone in the room. Come on now. I ain't gonna lie. If you're not doing that to your girl in public, do you really love her? Let's be honest. Do you really love her if you're not doing that in public to her? Come on now. Let's be real. Let's be real. All right, let's see. Okay. What is your favorite way to ask if you want to have sex? I walk into the room. My husband is in without clothes on. Hey, yeah. Why not? I always say it, man. I always say it. Women got it easy, bro. They got it easy. They don't really got to do much to get their man in the mood. You could do that. You know what I mean? You can just walk up into the room and be like, yo, song like Donkey Kong. You know what I mean? That's all you got to do. And they ready. All right, to the next one. What is your favorite way to ask someone if they want to have sex? I say, want to have sex with my penis? It has never worked, but it makes me laugh. My wife stopped laughing at it 6 or 7 years ago. Damn, that sucks. That sucks. She don't love you no more. No, I was kidding. But, I mean, you can't. My thing is I think some dudes, they do this thing. Like, my best friend does this all the time, and it really upsets me. Kind of pisses me off a little bit. He'll find something that a girl thinks is funny, and then he'll just say it over and over and over again, thinking that she's going to find it funny the next, 8-10 times. I'm like, bro, once you get her laughing, then, everything else, that you say and stuff like that, has potential to be funny because you already kind of broke that first, all right, cool, I got her laughing already. A lot of times, especially when a girl kind of thinks you're a little attractive, it's like a snowball effect. Once you get her laughing, you could throw other little things out there and, she'll start laughing more and more and more. And it's you don't have to say the same shit over and over again. I think it's one of those things where if you're still getting laughs off that shit, it's petty laughs at that point. You know what I mean? I bet my boy was getting petty laughs for a minute. Damn. All right, on to the next one. What is your favorite way to ask somebody who wants to have sex? I say to my wife, boonga, and if it's a go, she'll reply with boonga boonga, and then it goes very fast. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. When your girl just matches your vibe, you know what I mean? When she just matches your vibe, that'd be the shit right there. That'd be the absolute shit when your girl just matches the vibe and it's some stupid shit. Because I can't stand when a girl just wants to be serious all the time or, she wants you to be serious. It's nah, man, joke around with me a little bit. Life is short. You know what I mean? Life is short. Let's have a little fun. When she matches your weirdness, that's the shit, man. All right, what is your favorite way to ask if somebody wants to have sex? I just asked my husband, is there a possibility I can have some dick? He never says no. That's so funny. She comes, oh, sir, is there some possibility I can have some dick? That's funny. That is a funny one. I love a girl who can get kind of creative with it. You know what I mean? I love a girl that can get a little creative with it. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, what is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? Please have sex with me. Please. I'm so lonely and you're so much hotter than me. Please have sex with me. This nigga is crazy. Come on, bro. And I know you joking. And it's weird because I'm sure there's some dudes, and he might be one of those. I don't know. I hope not. But there are some dudes that probably do that. And that's crazy. That is insane to me, man. Bro. Shit. Okay. All right. All right. What is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? I just washed my face. Do you want to sit on it? This motherfucker. I used to have a friend that he used to do this line, and I think he got it from an old show or something. I don't know, but he was just he would walk up to the girl and be like, hey, you want me to wipe your seat off for you? And she's like, what? And he would be like, ah! I'm like, what the fuck? It never worked. It never worked. But he was so confident on it. I'm sure it's worked probably once for him, but anytime he and I ever went out, never worked for him. And I'm like, bro, why do you still do that line? He's like, I'm telling you, man, it works every once in a while. And I'm just like, maybe. I don't know. Don't seem like it to me. What is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? Run my ass against him when we cuddle. Hey, that is a tried and true one right there. If you and your girl just cuddling and she just, moving the booty. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, that's the golden ticket right there. You know what I mean? And I love that too. I think that's like the hottest way for a girl to ask, for some sex, is if she's just doing those kind of subtle things. Yeah. And she's like not looking back at you or anything. She's just like pretending like she's, paying attention to the movie. She ain't paying attention to the movie. Yeah, I mean, you ain't paying attention to the movie. Like, girl, my hand gonna be in your pants. Get look out of here. All right, what is your favorite way to ask if somebody wants to have sex? The way my partner does it. What do you say, huh? When we meet, she asked me to dance with the same question, insisted on an invitation that I stay the night with her and with some question. Later, she proposed to me with the same question, and both since and in between, she's initiated sex with the same casual question. Drives me crazy in a good way. This is better than the way I ask her. Apparently, she can tell when I want sex because I'll kiss her and apparently try to shove my tongue down her throat, as she describes it, about as subtle as a hand grenade. I mean, there gets to be a point. Like when I was back in my relationship for 5 years, I always tried to keep it like aloof, that I wanted to have sex with her and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, were there days we were just like, yo, I'm trying to fuck? Yeah, of course, 100%. But I always tried to keep it aloof, and I always tried to keep it like a surprise, to where it's like, I'm not touching her, I don't do nothing, and then out of nowhere, I see her come, get out of the shower, and I'm just grabbing on her boobies and stuff, and she's like, oh my God, oh, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's good to always try to keep it aloof, man. Keep it a mystery a little bit, or like keep it as if, you're like as if you guys are just, you just met. Because for me, like, the way I keep it spicy in the bedroom is just simply not having sex in the bedroom. Let's be honest here. Not having sex in the bedroom is the best way to keep it spicy in the bedroom. Like catch her when she's in the bathroom. Catch her when she's doing the dishes or something. Catch her when she's like in the closet. I used to do that all the time. We used to have a walk-in closet. And I would always see her changing in there, before she got like fully dressed. I would see her, and she's just in her underwear or whatever. And I would go up in there and I would like close the door to make it dark and stuff. And I would pretend like, I'm graping her or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, you're so sexy. Yeah. Like, you're, you know what I mean? Like just try to add a little fantasy to it, a little fun to it. And honestly, that's just the best way I've found to like keep it spicy in the bed. By not doing it in the bed. You know what I mean? Like, let's be straight. It's just like, that's just how you got to do it, man. You got to get creative with that shit. All right. All right, let's see. All right. What is your favorite way to ask if, what is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? I had a girl just ask. I had to confirm whether or not she was serious. Then I had to go and fuck it all up. The bottom line is she specifically said, want to have sex? No hints, no games, just straight to the point. That's how it should be. Facts, 100%. But like a lot of girls think that they have to do extra and like not necessarily play games, but just kind of like have this, carrot on a string style interaction, and it's like you really don't. Like, ladies, if you want to fuck, you just say it, and honestly, you don't even have to say it. Obviously in the beginning of this episode, when homegirl was just like, I just walk into the room that my husband's in with no clothes, and bam, we're ready to go. Like, shit, start undressing in front of me. I ain't gonna lie to you. I remember a long time, I was maybe in high school at this time. I have no idea. But it was a long time ago. And I was at this girl's house and I was thinking like, oh man, I really like this girl, whatever. And, I was at her house and she was just like, oh, I'm going to change really quick, whatever. And I was just like, oh, did you need me to leave the room so you can change? And she was like, well, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. And I was like, I don't have to. I'm all right. I'll just chill right here. You know what I mean? And she was being sexy about it. Like undresses slowly and stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus. You know what I mean? And then she didn't get like redressed when she got undressed. She just went over to me and was just like, oh, I don't know what to wear. And I was just like, I'm not thinking about clothes anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not thinking about clothes anymore. Like, I'm telling you, that was probably the best way a girl has ever like initiated sex for me. I was like, oh, baby Jesus. Yeah, I was hard as trigonometry, man. I won't lie to you. I was hard as trigonometry. Woo! All right. I'm going to do like 4 more and then we'll hop into the scenarios for today. All right. What is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? Send them a DM in Victorian speak. All right, this is going to be pretty good. My dearest and most enchanting stranger, pray forgive thy boldness of unsolicited note, but your presence has stirred me within a most curious tempest. Though we are yet unacquainted in name and history, I cannot help but feel drawn to you, as though some mysterious thread of fate binds our stars. Damn! All right. Pen game, okay. Should your heart be open to the exploration of certain intimate harmonies, those of a physical yet mutual respectful nature, I would be most honored to partake in such a delicate and exquisite commune with you. Of course, I seek only what is freely and enthusiastically given, and if this sentiment is unwelcome, I shall vanish like mist at dawn, leaving you with naught but well wishes and respect. Yours, in quiet longing and bold sincerity, a most curious admirer. My man got straight pen game. Yo, that was straight fucking pen game, man. God damn. Round of applause for that nigga. God damn. If I was a girl, I'd be like, you know what? I might fuck that guy. Man, you know, hey, she was just like, shit, you know, and she like sends back a picture, you know, of her showing her ankle. You know what I mean? Hey, I might steal that. I ain't gonna lie to you. I might copy paste that and be like, see what happens. You know what I mean? Just see what happens. Hey, W pin game on that one, man. W pin game. That was nice. All right. Let's see. Okay. What is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? I like to yell at my husband from another room, beef, let me smash. He'll do the same, or he chases me saying it in a creepy whisper until I give in or run. Or if he's not home, I'll send him increasingly disgusting voice notes until he calls me back and tells me to stop it. See, that's what I mean though. Like, you know what I mean? Honestly, if I'm being straight with you, if she's your girlfriend and, you know, or if she's your wife for a long time, a lot of times play into the little grape stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously make it extremely jokey, but play into the grape shit. They kind of like it. Like I was saying, you know, how I would like, you know, we had a walk-in closet and I would see my girl changing and stuff like that, and I would go in there and I'd close the door and make it real dark and be like, I'd be creepy and stuff, you know, because they like that. It appeals to their fantasy at the same time, and it's just like, ooh, but it's a very controlled kind of thing where there's no real danger. It's just kind of like, yeah, it's like acting almost, you know, and they can kind of be like, oh, and a lot of times your girl will play along. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, or get like a ski mask or something, you know. I don't know, just play into it. I've always found that to be, I mean, obviously you have to be dating the girl and you have to be comfortable with her. But I mean, shit, you know, but play into it, man. Because sometimes they'll play it back, and it's kind of nice. This will be our last one, and then I'll go ahead and hop on into the scenarios we got going on for today. Goodness gracious, my mind was just like blank. All right. What is your favorite way to ask somebody if they want to have sex? One time I grabbed a condom and got on one knee and asked my girlfriend if she would have sex with me. She laughed and said yes, and we did it. What the fuck? My man proposed to her. Well, I guess he proposed sex with a condom. Like, all right, I guess. Hey. As long as she thought it was funny, you know what I mean? And I mean, you still got some sex out of it. And hey, it is what it is, man. You gotta be funny about it. Gotta, play to it. I always think that these threads are good because it gives people out there some ideas of how to keep their sex life spicy with their long-term partner. Because I feel like the sex life is the first thing to go in a lot of relationships, especially a lot of long-term relationships. And that's why, for me, I kind of like to focus on that in a long-term relationship, especially if you guys been together for 3 to 4 plus years. Like when you've been together for 3 to 4 plus years, a lot of times that is the first thing to go, is like the sex life. And I think that is the most important thing that you must focus on, just to keep the relationship spicy. Because if it does go and it gets too far, I think that's just where the cheating starts, the infidelity becomes, because, it's just, you're just not satisfied. You know what I mean? And you kind of feel like, oh, this person I'm supposed to be dating, especially for a guy, because a guy looks at it like the difference between being friends with a girl and being in a relationship with a girl is sex. And it's like, if he ain't getting that no more, then what's the point? But I think a lot of times girls just kind of get bored of it. They're like, look, man, how many times can you lay me on my back and stroke in it for a little bit and then nut and you're done? Like, you know what I mean? Like, spice it up a little bit, make it different. So, that's why for me in a relationship, sex has always been a thing I've tried to keep spicy as possible. You know what I mean? Honestly, that's why I got into like the spicy books and stuff like that we do on Thursday, because I ain't gonna lie to you, man, they be giving me some ideas. I ain't gonna lie, they be giving me some ideas. Obviously, you gotta be with your girl for a minute to really even try these things, but again, it's like they be giving you some ideas. I ain't gonna lie. I've taken some notes out of Zayd's handbook. I ain't gonna lie to you, because that nigga smooth. He is, man. Yeah, and it's weird because girls kind of like the like creepy, stranger style thing, but obviously, it's you. But when you're kind of playing this character, I think they kind of like that a little bit. Yeah, just because it's different and it's not like, I don't know. It just plays to their fantasy. It lets their mind kind of, go into a different realm. And I'm sure they don't even think that they're them. They kind of maybe play a role of like a different girl. And so I think when you're able to kind of stimulate your girl's mind through, different ways of initiating sex instead of just kind of the same ways over and over again. Like, oh yeah, I'm touch your boob, you know what I mean? Or I'm going to just put my hands in there. I think it helps out a lot when it comes to that, because I think that's how I lasted so long in the relationship that I was in before. And how we got to damn near 5 years was, I think, because I was able to just always come up with ways to kind of initiate sex, but do it in creative ways. And so, yeah, man. You might have learned something. You never know. You might have learned something. You might have been like, hey, I'm going to try that, That Victorian thing. Oh, I might try that. I might try the Victorian thing. That kind of seemed cool. All right, there we go. Stupid Face ID. I don't know why I was doing that. Okay. All right, so we are on Patreon. Of course, there is no announcements like normal. If you're on Patreon, obviously you're downloading the episodes. You are, what is it? God, you're downloading the episodes. You've rated us 5 stars. You're following us on Instagram and TikTok, as well as subscribe to us on YouTube. Subscribers have been going up, and I've been noticing that. It's been really nice. It's been a slow, steady, gradual increase. Loving that so much, man. We have gotten a lot of new Patreons over here. So if you are new, hi, hello, welcome. Hopefully you are enjoying the content we have over here. Like I said, I have almost over 100 hours of content over here, man. It's insane the amount of content I have. So if you're enjoying it, if you're loving it, definitely, stick through. Every Friday you get a new episode, man. So love you, appreciate you for being over here, and you guys are the GOATs. You guys are the goats. You guys are the reason why I'm able to continue to do this podcast. And, it just gives me the motivation. You know what I mean? I won't lie to you. All right? But without further ado, we're going to be getting into our scenarios for today. We got some pretty interesting ones, and I hope you guys find them interesting. I'm going to take a swig really quick, and we'll get right into it. Oh. Icing. All right. Without further ado, let's get into our first one. So, was I wrong for leaving my relationship? All right. My ex and I were together for 3 years. I broke up with him a few times early on due to lying and deceit. Not cheating, but just lying. But he'd always send emotional messages promising to change. I kept going back because I loved him and wanted it to work, but he never actually changed. Girl, I always tell you ladies, you'll never change a man. You just won't. I mean, if you're dating him initially and you see things that you don't like and you kind of address them and he's not really willing to compromise on them, trust me, he ain't gonna change. It just is what it is, girl. It is what it is. He lived an hour away, so we only saw each other on weekends. When he was over on Saturdays, he'd be busy working out, meal prepping, and taking a long time in the bathroom. By the time he was done, the whole Saturday was practically over. Our one full day we got together on Sunday, he'd take long in the bathroom once again. He needed to get his groceries for the week, but then nothing else the rest of the day. And by that time, it would be 5 p.m. and he'd have to go back home at 6. He never planned dates or activities. I made a shared list of free date ideas or activities we could do. He never touched it. The only quality time was late takeout and movies after his tasks were done on Saturday. Or if he wanted to watch UFC, we'd watch that instead. And if we did go out to eat, which was rare, I was the one who initiated it, and he didn't even seem that interested. I was always excited for the weekends and to finally be with him, but he seemed the opposite. He was physically there, but not emotionally. I was the one always making plans, but he didn't even seem interested when we did do activities I'd planned. I brought up my feelings countless times, and he works out every day during the week, so I asked him to skip one Saturday workout, our only full day, and he refused, saying he needs to get a lift in. One moment really hit me. He spent $100 on a meal for himself during the week. Meanwhile, he has never once took me out or gave me flowers. When I asked why he can't get me can't get me just because flowers, he said, what would I get out of it? In the last few moments, he became emotionally distant, less texting, calling, and didn't want to come Friday nights anymore so he could work out at his gym Saturday morning and come over after he even skipped coming to me 2 weekends in a row. He said that he was stressed with day trading and needed to make sacrifices. I've always supported him, but I felt pushed aside. I asked if he even wanted to be with me. He said, you're my whole life. I wouldn't be here if I didn't want to be. But last week I ended things. I felt broken in the beginning. He at least showed emotional care even if the effort wasn't there, but now it's neither. He agreed to the breakup and said, I need to make sacrifices, but I added, this isn't goodbye. It's see you later. You'll always be my baby. That's what he said. So he agreed to the breakup, but he was just like, you'll always be my girl and I love you. All this kind of stuff. But every time we broke up, he hopped right on Tinder. Ooh, he was just a hardworking guy, or was I wrong for leaving my relationship? All right. I can tell already that, for one, this dude was a very structured guy, and that structure was the reason why he was successful. All right. And I think with you trying to come in and maybe change that structure, he looked at it like, no, because if I change this structure and I start getting lazy and I start, hanging out with her more and doing things with her, it could impede my ability to stay successful. And to a degree, I understand that 100%. When men are very successful and they have things going for them, because I can guarantee you this guy was a winner. I guarantee he was a winner, and I guarantee he was a high earner. He made a lot of money. I guarantee you this guy was a high net worth individual. I guarantee it. And so I think for him, he looked at it like, no, I need to be, structured and all that kind of stuff because this is what made me successful in the first place. Now with him kind of being distant and all that kind of stuff, if I'm being honest with you, I guarantee you it was a thing where this dude was probably seeing other women. I can kind of guarantee. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, no, I don't think that. Oh, that's like crazy to think, blah, blah, blah. The reason I think that is because a lot of men who are kind of in this position where they are high net worth individuals and they kind of got things going for them. He was only seeing her on the weekends. That kind of already tells you that you were the main girl. You were the girl that he loved, but he was seeing some hoes on the side. You know what I mean? He was seeing some hoes on the side. During the week, I think that's when he was, I don't think he was taking these girls out. I don't think he was doing all that, but I definitely think he was seeing some hoes on the side. Yeah, because for him, it was a thing where when he would see you on the weekend, he would kind of keep routine and keep structure. He wouldn't really want to spend too much time with you, but he would spend time with you. Again, I just think he was just like, nah, this is my main girl. This is the girl I love, but you know what I mean? When I want to get my rocks off during the week, I'm going to call up a hoe. I'm going to be like, yo, what's up? Hey, what's going on, Angela? What you doing for the night? And that's tough to hear, but again, 9 times out of 10, when you have guys that are like in that high net worth, they're those type of guys. Most of the time, they are the type of dudes who are willing to pay for it. They're willing to pay a girl to come over and, he fucks her and then she leaves and. They do tend to have the mindset of like, I'm a successful individual, this and that. Like, why am I gonna have all the success and just have sex with you? I just think he was just keeping it away from you. And, he was just like, what she don't know won't hurt her. I love her. That's my baby. But I'm going to call over a hoe every once in a while. Now, was he doing this all the time, every week? No, but I'm sure he was doing it here and there. And especially in the times when you would get kind of distant with him, he would kind of just be like, oh, all right, cool, man. Like she was saying, he would hop on, they would break up and he'd hop right on Tinder because he looked at it like, bro, I love this girl and I think she's great. But, if you don't want to hop on my program, like say he wasn't cheating. He probably looks at it like, if you don't want to hop on my program, then that's cool. You know what I mean? You can go do what you want. I'm going to find a girl who is willing to be on my program. Because again, a lot of these high net worth individual guys, they get into a routine and they get so routine. They look at it like, this is what made me successful. This is what got me to where I am. I'm not about to change that for anybody. And if you're willing to come in and be a part of this, then that's cool, but I'm not changing for you. I'm not changing for you. And like I said, once she mentioned he was a day trader, I was like, okay, I know what we're dealing with here. We are dealing with a man of a high net worth individual. He looks at it like, I'm routined. This is what made me this. And like I said, in the times that he was getting a little distant, I guarantee he was calling up some hoes and he was just like, and these, like I said, these are probably just escort chicks. These are girls, where they come over, he, bangs them, or he goes somewhere, gets his rocks off and he leaves. It's tough. It's tough to kind of like grasp that, but again, man, that's how a lot of these guys think and that's how a lot of these guys move. So, I think it was, for your sake, I think it was good. I don't think you were willing to be a part of his program. And I don't even think that if you kind of knew exactly what was going on, you'd probably really be upset at the simple fact that, he's probably messing with other women. Of course, he might not be. He might not be. But the fact that, he was only seeing you on the weekends, he was very busy. Then there were times when he got distant. When you guys would break up, he goes straight to Tinder. Like, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. All of that evidence kind of points right to that, where he was just, he was with you, but he was paying for women on the side. You obviously weren't knowing, and he wanted to keep it that way. He looked at it like, what she don't know won't hurt her. I still go and see her on the weekends. And then she had mentioned, there was 2 weekends I didn't see him. So I guarantee you those weekends he was probably, with a side chick or something like that. So again, it just, that's just the mindset of those kind of guys. And I think that was the mindset that he was in. And I think for her, she looked at it like, she probably knew some of this, but just didn't want to believe it. So maybe this kind of will help her realize, like, fuck, I think, what I was thinking was correct. I didn't want it to be correct, but it is. So, yeah, I don't think you're wrong for leaving the relationship, because obviously if she knew kind of what was actually going on and what he really thought, she wouldn't be about it. And that's why he was moving the way he was moving. You know what I mean? It simply comes down to the fact that he was like, this routine is what made me successful. I'm not going to break this routine just for her. Fuck that shit. If you want to be part of this routine, that's great. And we can do our dang thing. I love you. You're my main girl. But if you don't want to be a part of this, cool. Piece of chicken grease, girl. And that's why he would go straight to Tinder, or he would probably call a hoe or something like that. You know what I mean? But the fact that he was only seeing you on the weekends further pushes that as well. So, yeah, I mean, take it what you gonna do. Take it how you gonna take it. But yeah, let me know what you think about it in the comments, though. All right, on to the next one. Am I overreacting? He vaped mid-sex.
Bruh.
What? So my man was just like, yeah, yeah. Like, what the fuck? All right, I guess, man. Okay, I know this might sound silly, but I can't stop thinking about it and need to know if I'm being super dramatic or if this is a legit red flag. I, 24 female, met this man, 34 male, while on vacation for a week. We hit it off instantly and ended up sleeping together a few times. The chemistry was crazy, the vibes immaculate, and the sex a solid 10 out of 10. He even said it was the best cat he's ever had. His words, not mine. All right, but here's where it gets odd. During one of our sessions, doggy style if you must know, he straight up stopped mid-thrust, and when I looked back to see what was happening, this man was hitting his lemon-flavored vape. Not even during a break in rhythm, just casually pulling a cloud like we were on a smoko, I don't know, instead of, in the middle of something. Now here's the kicker. I vape too, so I'm not judging him for vaping in general, but mid-sex, really, I've never once felt the urge to grab my vape between moans. I'm currently planning to move to his country in the next year. To be very clear, this move was pre-planned and is 1,000% for my own career and not and life plans, not for him. But obviously I've been fantasizing about the possibility of seeing what things could, or how things could go between us. And now I'm spiraling. What does this mean? Is this a sign he's not really present, disrespectful, or just too comfortable? Or am I making a mountain out of a lemon-scented molehill? Like, what kind of person vapes mid-sex? What does it say about how he sees me or values the experience? Please be honest with me. Am I overreacting? All right, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. And this is gonna sound shitty, but he don't give a fuck about you. All right, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. He does not care about you. You were just some pussy to him. All right, that's all you were. There is no future. There is no picket fence and a marriage with this guy. And I'm telling you now, this dude, you were just some bomb young coochie to him. That's all it was. And I guarantee you, say you do move out there and you keep contact with him and stuff, he is going to sell you the dream so hard. And you want to know why I know this? Is because a dude that actually likes you and actually, he wouldn't be, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he wouldn't vape. Like, that's obviously, that's kind of weird and it's kind of crazy. And that's not obviously the reason why I think that. It's just like, for him, he kind of just looks at it like, you know, like, I know I'm never going to see this girl again, so it doesn't matter what I do. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, you know what I mean? The sex is bomb, this and that, but like, I'm never going to see this girl again. It is what it is. You know, and how do I know this? Because I've done this before. I won't lie to you. I've been the dude, you know, banging a girl who is just in the country for a while. I went to Vegas. It was supposed to be a family trip. I won't lie to you. It was supposed to be like a family trip thing. But I ended up meeting a little French girl or whatever. She was a lot younger than I was. And so, you know, her and I were flumping around Vegas. You know what I mean? We did our thing. She wanted to go see LA. And so I was like, fuck it. I'll take her to go see LA. So took her to go see LA. I got us hotel out there and stuff like that. We were doing the dang thing. You know what I mean? Banging and looking at the sights. But for me, I looked at it like, in a couple of days, this girl goes off back to France and I'll never ever fucking see her again. You know, so I'm going to just bang her out and then send her back to her country. Like, let's be honest here. This is just what happens. And I think for this dude, the reason why he did vape was because he looks at it like, this, I'm never going to see this girl again. You know, obviously he doesn't know that you didn't say that you told him that, but from my understanding, he doesn't know that you're going to be living in that country pretty soon. He doesn't know that. He thinks, oh yeah, this hot girl just came here, you know, visiting whatever. She wants to, you know what I mean, get with your boy. So I'm going to just get me some coochie and I'm going to send her back to her fucking country. I'm never going to see her again. I'm never going to talk to her again. You know what I mean? Now, could things change if like, you're like, oh, I'm living in the country now? Maybe things could change, but it's going to be a very slim chance that he'll actually be serious with you. Now, will he pretend? Oh, 100%. He going to sit there and be like, oh, this is great. Oh my God. Yeah, let's do it. You know what I mean? But he's going to be in it for the booty. He is. He's going to be in it for the booty. I don't think he's really going to give you, the relationship and the romance and all that. I don't really think he's going to give that to you. He's just not, and the reason I think he's not going to is just because of the initial way that he met you. You know what I mean? The fact that like you came to another country, you're sleeping with a local dude, you know what I mean, that you low-key hardly don't know. Let's be real here, that you hardly don't know. So he looks at it like, man, it's yeah, she belongs to the streets. Yeah, I mean, he kind of looks at it that way. And now, you know, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, oh, but what about the girl that you slept with? Do you see her that way? And it's like, kinda. That girl didn't know me like that. You know what I mean? I literally met her one night in Vegas, and then we hung out, and then we went to LA and spent a few days out in LA, and yeah, I mean, I was having sex with her the whole time. And it's like, I don't know this girl like that. She don't know me like that. Like, the fact that you're willing to come to another country and just fuck a local nigga, like, you know what I mean? Like, let's just be honest here. It's like, that don't really look good. You know what I mean? Like, to a man, obviously. That just doesn't look all that good. So that's why I'm saying, if you try to get something serious with him, he's going to sit there and just look at it like, she belongs to the streets. And I'm going to just keep getting the coochie, and I'm going to lie to you. And, you know, she told me, she said, please be honest with me. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just being honest. Just being honest with her. That's how dude's going to see it. Yeah, I mean, so, but you guys let me know what you think. You know what I mean? Let me know what you think. Like, do you think that she has a chance with homeboy? Could it be something real? I don't know. I personally don't think so. I think he'll use her And then, once she kind of realizes she's being used, then she's going to be like, oh, fuck. So, I don't know. You guys let me know. All right? Let me know. Let's get on to our next one. God damn it. All right. So, am I the asshole for divorcing my husband after finding out he subscribed to my childhood best friend's OnlyFans? Woo!
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
That's crazy. Why does your childhood friend have an OnlyFans? You know what I mean? Why? What the? All right, let's see. I'm 28 female. And my husband is a 31 male. We have been married for 2 years, but have been together for 5. We were planning on having kids soon and actually made a Amazon wish list in preparation. All of these things changed after something he did last week that made me change my mind completely. Okay, so they were planning to have kids. Wow. So I went through his Instagram following one night. Not that I suspected him of cheating or anything, but looked for potential mutuals. We both worked at the same location at one point. As I'm going through, I noticed my childhood best friend's OnlyFans Instagram account where she promotes. This suddenly made me have a realization and I got super sick. He came from work super late, but I was too shaken up to say anything about it at the time. The next morning, I text my friend on IG and asked if she knew that my husband is following her on IG, and unfortunately she said yes and told me he is subscribed to her on OF2. Nigga, why are you not using like an alias or something? That's crazy. This made me furious. She knew about it and didn't tell me. I knew I had to cut ties with her, but first had to deal with my husband. I finally decide to bring it up to him the next day. I show him the account and ask, what is this? Do you know who this is? He looked anxious before saying no. I showed him the messages between me and my friend before he finally said something. Let the cat run out of the bag. I told him I want to file for divorce because I am done with him. Whoa. Okay, I blocked him and my friend everywhere. I could contact with him fully yesterday. I now keep getting messages from random accounts on Instagram telling me I am stupid for divorcing stupid for divorcing and my ex-husband subscribing to an OnlyFans. A part of me feels like I should have just forgave him, but I'm still angry, especially considering he didn't tell me. Am I the asshole for divorcing my husband? All right. I'll say this first. Okay. I'll say this first because if I don't say this first, I'm going to get a lot of angry feminists in my comments. I already know. I understand why she's angry. And I'll tell you why I understand why she's angry. Because for one, this is a girl that he knows in real life. So it's not like it's some random bitch. Like if this was some random girl on Instagram that he found and subscribed to her OnlyFans, I'd be like, girl, you are overreacting. Get over it. Because that girl doesn't care and she doesn't know that he exists. And if he's messaging her on Instagram, he's probably talking to Pajit in fucking India somewhere. All right, let's be honest. But that's not the case. So I do understand why she is angry because he knows this girl in real life. So the potential of him to cheat with this woman or whatever the case may be could be high. 100%. I get why you're angry. But now here's where I am going to insert my opinion into this because I think she is wrong for divorcing him. And the reason being is because, yes, you're upset and yes, you're mad, but I don't think this is something to divorce your husband over. I really don't. Now, yes, this, is a conversation. Yes, this is something where you need to be like, yo, man, you can't talk to her no more. We're cutting her off. I don't want you following her on Instagram. I don't want you talking to her. You know what I mean? OnlyFans has got to go. All that stuff. 100%. I do understand that. And I guarantee you it'd be a thing where, he would be like, well, shit, I'm sorry, babe. I didn't, because the reason I say that is because the way he looks at this situation is completely different than the way she's looking at it. She's looking at it like, oh my God, you're lusting after her. You want to be with her over me. And, you're going to cheat on me with her and this and that. And you might love her more than me or whatever the case may be. Her brain is racking and running 100%. But for him, he looks at it like it is just beating my meat. Like this is no different than just porn, if I'm being honest with you. And 100%, that's just how he's thinking about it. That's how he looks at this situation. And obviously that's where the conversation would need to come in and the communication would need to come in, because it's like now you guys can kind of bring both perspectives to the table to where she looks at it like, okay, well, he only looks at it as porn. I hope that that's all it is. And then for him, he can understand like, yo, oh shit, she's right. I can see how this looks and I can see why her feelings are justified because I know this woman. Obviously we know this woman in real life. The possibility of like you guys actually doing something, is kind of higher than if it was just a random ass bitch on Instagram. Because if it was a random ass bitch on Instagram, I'm telling you now, zero chance of that happening. Let's be honest here. But since it is somebody that they know, the chances a little higher. So I do understand that. And that's why I say the communication should have happened first instead of you going straight to divorce and being like, oh, fuck this, I'm done, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like, at least talk to the man a little bit first. Get his idea. Now, I could be wrong in the whole fact that he thinks it's just porn. 100%. He could be lusting after her and thinking like, oh man, if I got the opportunity, I would, blah, 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 blah. That could be a possibility, but you don't know until you at least talk to him. At least give him the conversation like, yo, man, what is going on? Obviously, you went to him, and was like, yo, what is this? Like, what the fuck? So I do understand that you did talk to him in that way, but I think when you ended that conversation, you didn't really hear him out. You just were like, I want a divorce. You know what I mean? You didn't hear him out. None of that. You were just like, I want a divorce. And that was that. And it's like, maybe if you would have talked to him a little bit, or separated for a little bit and then calm down and then talk to him. And that way you can kind of come at it with a little less of a little less of high emotions, because obviously when you first figuring it out and hearing about it, your emotions are gonna be like, way the fuck up here. So, take some time, and wait till the emotions come back down a little bit and then kind of proceed talking. But that, because like I said, for me, I'm a proponent of keeping relationships together. I think people get divorced over stupid shit, if I'm being honest with you. Couples break up over stupid shit, if I'm being honest with you, when a lot of times a conversation can fix a lot of issues that couples have and that relationships have. A lot of times, even on this show, there's been times where like, some people have been like, yo, you saved my marriage because, we heard you, talk about just communicating, talking it out a little bit, and it worked out. And I'm like, oh shit, for real? It worked? All right. Because sometimes that's all it really takes is just kind of seeing the other person's perspective on how they see the situation. And then you're like, oh, okay, well, because like I said before, her brain is racking. She's thinking, oh my God, my man thinks this girl is better than me, wants to be with her, wants to love her more than me, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. And I guarantee you she threw the divorce out there because she was like, I want to divorce him before he divorces me. I guarantee you that's why she threw it out there. But it was like, I don't think he's going to do that because I guarantee it 9 times out of 10, he's just looking at it as it's just porn. He's just like, bro, it's just something to beat my meat to. I ain't gonna lie. You know what I mean? When you're not in the mood, I'm just like, cool, man. You know what I mean? So that's just how us dudes look at it. We don't really, see it that way a majority of the time, just because again, we got that post nut clarity. I guarantee you, you know what I mean? He's busted nut a few times and been like, shit, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Hey, post nut clarity is a real thing. But again, I say have a conversation. I say you're an asshole for just going straight to the divorce. You should have had a conversation with him at least. Yes, take some time apart. Let the emotions come down. Think about it a little more, you know what I mean? Then come back to him. Hey, all right, look, what the hell? Why did this start? how did this start? Why did you do this? You know what I mean? You know, we were talking about having kids, like what's going on? And keep an open mind. You know what I mean? Like, be open to the information. Don't try to come in with a preconceived notion of he's lying and, oh, he's just telling me what I want to hear. No, like, hear him out. You know what I mean? Hear him out. Give him a bit of the benefit of the doubt, because he is your husband. He is someone that loves you and cares about you. And obviously, this was just I guarantee you, in his mind, he probably thought, oh, you know, she's not going to, you know, care too much. You know what I mean? Her friend is obviously putting it out there, you know, for everybody to see. So, you know, it wouldn't matter if I, you know, subscribed or whatever. So, again, it's just like, hear him out at least. At least hear him out. And then if you hear him out and you still want to do divorce, then, all right, I would feel like it's justified at that point, because you at least heard him out. You at least gave him the opportunity to give his side of it. And you know what I mean? You just did it the right way. Again, I'm a proponent for keeping relationships together. And through this show, it's actually been a thing where couples have written into me and they're like, yo, you saved my relationship. You saved my marriage, just because of the fact that, you know, I showed her like what you said, and, you know, I agreed with what you said, and then we had a conversation, and everything was copacetic after that. So, again, I don't know. That's just me, though. You guys let me know what you think about it in the comments. You know what I mean? You guys might think she's justified. I don't know. All right? So, all right. We're going to get into our last scenario for today. All right? This one is a coworker story. So, my male coworker keeps trying to hit on me at work, and it's become so cringy that I actively avoid him whenever possible. Ooh. See, man, some guys, they need to just know when a girl doesn't like them and just stop talking to them. Like for me, I'm the type of dude, like, when I talk to a girl that I like, right, and I'm talking to her, getting to know her, stuff like that, we're hanging out, all that, and then I finally decide to pop the question and be like, hey, you know, would you want to, you know, go out on a date, be, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, all that stuff, or tell her I like her, and she's like, I don't really see you like that. Cool, no problem. And I cut ties. I just cut them, because there's no point for me to be interacting with you anymore. And I know that sounds harsh to some degree, but you have to understand, for a guy who likes a girl, he can't continue to be friends with her. He shouldn't continue to be friends with her. He shouldn't continue to have contact with that girl, because the thing is that dude is going to be dying inside every time, watching you go out on dates with dudes, watching you date guys, watching you talk about guys that you like, to, you know, hear you go on and on about this dude, that dude, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just horrible. Like, bro, you need to just get over it. Quit talking to her, move on. Quit talking to her and move on, man. I'm telling you. Oh, all right. So I, 32 female, have a coworker that likes to put on this nice guy attitude, but in reality, he's one of the most deceitful people I've met in my life. Oh, okay. He treats all the male coworkers like dirt, and then turns around and attempts to be this nice and humble guy around women. Like, if he treats men like that, then what hope does he have actually keeping a lady who will genuinely love him? Oh, and that's not all. He would write love letters to me, which I just awkwardly smile and say no thanks. This makes him outraged, and he keeps asking me what's wrong and if he did anything wrong for me to be upset at him. Constantly trying to follow me around. It's become so tiresome that sometimes I actually have to go to the restroom just to have some peace and quiet from the guy. Wow. Damn. Sadly, look, I think what you need to do is you need to stop playing nice. And you need to just tell homeboy, look, bro, I don't like you. I don't like you at all. All right? I don't find you attractive. I don't want to date you. I don't want to be with you. Please stop following me around. Stop doing all this shit. And if you don't stop, I'm going to HR, bro. You know what I mean? I think at that point is where, because look, I understand that a lot of girls, they try to like be nice and shut the guy down nicely and all that kind of stuff. Understandable. But I think in the instances where the dudes just don't get it and they think like, oh no, she wants me to try harder, that's when you need to just shut that shit down, put your foot down and be like, look, motherfucker, I don't like you. You're not cute. I don't want to date my coworker. Whatever reason it is that you have, you need to lay it down. And look, and if you look like a bitch, oh well, because I understand why a lot of women do that. They don't want to come off as, crass or rude or bitchy or whatever. But when it comes to that point, you kind of have to. And honestly, I guarantee you your other coworkers won't look at you as being crass, rude, or bitchy or anything like that. And the reason being is because they know homeboy is being annoying. They're talking about him like, oh my God, there he goes. There he goes, trying to get with Caroline again. There he goes. He wrote another letter, all goofy ass nigga doing more shit. So trust me, you're going to have to just lay it down on him. You have to put your foot down and say, hey man, I don't like you. Don't want to date you. Don't want to be with you. I have no interest in you. Please stop. And if you don't, go into HR. That's just the way it is, man. I understand you don't want to be rude. You don't want to be crap. I understand that. But at this point, you need to be 10 toes down on this motherfucker. Yeah, you just do. You just do. And honestly, for maybe a little while, probably have another male coworker that you are close with walk you out to her car and shit like that after you do it, because you never know. Homeboy might get a little aggressive, because some guys don't know how to take no as an answer, and they might try to, force themselves on you. So yeah, there's that too. So, all right. That's going to be today's episode, man. Hope you guys enjoyed today's Patreon Day episode. Thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have been showing throughout each week. I appreciate it. The numbers have been going up and up and up, and I am so happy for that, all right? Love you guys all. I will see you on Sunday for our stream, okay? We do not have a Sunday podcast episode, but I will be streaming on Sunday. We'll be doing a Minecraft stream on Sunday, so I'm excited for that. So stay tuned for the Minecraft Sunday stream. And without further ado, that's going to be your boy. Love you guys all. See you on Sunday for stream. Peace.